All right, what about on that same worksheet, number 8, where they give me some other stuff? So again, remember, there's some things I do believe. Think about stuff logically, but also a picture is worth 10 cubed words. So just a little heads up as I'm looking at this shape. Oh, it's less than 1, which my little hint is do this and you get an ellipse, right? So I know it's an ellipse. So part 1, it's an ellipse. So that's what I'd expect to see. Now the vertex is at 2/3 0. So let's say that's 1. So 2/3 0 is right there. That's a vertex. And the other one is at -2 0. That's another one. Now remember, the foci love to be right here. So that means that this thing is going like this, right? Because it's an ellipse. And that also means that according to this focus, there is a directrix over here somewhere. A directrix at x equals some positive number, but I don't know what. That's what the k value is. All right, so that's what I know. Looking at that picture and then looking at the formula, right? The equation that I know for these, I guess it's right there up there in blue. So let's see what things we know. We know that this equation would be r equals, I don't know k, because that's what we're trying to find. Eccentricity was a half. I'm going to use a fraction. Don't know why. I just like fractions. And then I have 1. Now I know it's going to be positive because it's on the plus side, the directrix. So plus, and eccentricity still half. And I'm going to use cosine because it was going to be x equals, not y equals. So there is my equation. As you can see, the only thing I don't have is k. And if I had k, I'd be done. So let's figure out what k is. Well, how, you say? Well, that's why they gave us those points. We can plug those points in just like we did last problem, number 5, if you didn't see that video. We could plug it in and see which one we got. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this point in, the 2/3 0. So what does that mean? Now that's xy, so you have to convert to polar, right? Wow, that's kind of nice. If you went in the 0 degree direction, you would go out 2/3 of a unit. So it's pretty easy to plug in. It's just 0 degrees and 2/3. Now be careful, this was x and y, but it also looks like it's r and theta, right? R is 2/3 and theta would be 0 degrees or 0 radians. So if I do that, r would be 2/3, k times a half, over 1 plus a half. And we already talked about cosine of 0 degrees is 1. So that's, I'm just going to put a 1 there. So we have all math. Now solve for k. All right. You're like, oh, that looks freaky. I don't know. Is it 2/3 equals a half of a k? And then that's 1 plus a half. So is that 3 halves? So 3 halves right there. Now what could I do? I could multiply both sides by 3 halves. So there you go. And now I have 1/2 of a k is equal to, oh my gosh, look at that. It's 6, 6, or everything cancels and gives you 1. And then I would multiply both sides by 2, and I would get k equals 2. And there you go. We now know what k is. So what's our equation? Our equation is r equals 2 times a half over 1 plus a half cosine theta. Now we could clean that up a little bit because 2 times a half looks weird, or you could say like, hey, I like it because it tells me k and e, or maybe, I don't know, whatever your logic is. But here you go. This looks beautificent. And maybe you see this and you're like, I don't like the half right there, which is a legitimate argument because people don't like fractions and fractions. So probably best manners, multiply top and bottom by 2. And so what would you get? You would get r equals 2 over 2 plus cosine theta. A lot of people think that is good manners. So here's your good manners. Here's your manners. Mind your manners, I guess. And this is probably bad manners, right? Sound good? All right. Have a great day. Stay happy.